Texas has all that money coming straight into the SEC just off a season they lost to Kansas.
Well, don't say that about Texas A&M either with Jimbo Fisher. Definitely want to hear what your thoughts are with Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban going at one another with all this money coming to the players. I mean, Nick Saban is such a baby. I swear. That guy cries about everything. The guy's been in how many championship games? How many championships has he won? Texas A&M is a very rich school. He's complaining.
At least Texas A&M has players drafted, though, and could win against SEC schools. Texas, meanwhile, loses to Kansas. And how many players did they have drafted in this draft? 0.
Well, the Jets got somebody from Texas A&M.
No, Texas had no players drafted in this draft.
I'm just saying that.
No, I know. Clemens is from A&M.
Clemens is from A&M, and he's very excited to be a Jet. And by the way, I saw some videos of him. That guy's a beast. He is a scary, SOB. So, absolutely. I think, listen, I understand how and why these coaches are complaining. Jimbo Fisher's trying to protect the players, and Nick Saban's trying to throw the players on the bus. Meanwhile, his quarterback is making, $1 million a year, and he's going to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. Whack, cry me a baby. You're not complaining about that. And then, by the way, Clemson's coach, Dabo Swinney, he's another one that's bitching and moaning about what players are. How about this? Why are you making $10 million a year? How about that? Why are you making $10 million? And these guys, the players, you guys are the ones putting your bodies on a line and actually playing and getting you in those ball games. I'm so sick and tired of these coaches because they make so much money in college sports. And these players, I am so happy that the NCAA actually opened their eyes and let these young kids, these kids that have fought their way to get into these D1 schools, actually make some money off their name as much as these damn colleges are making off your name.
Yeah. One thing I heard that I think is kind of the best view of NIL that I even had, like the best take I've had on it. He thinks that there's a special kind of kid to be a Wisconsin kid. He was saying, you got to have that name that, you're not going to only play for the name on the back of your jersey, you play for the name on the front of your jersey. So, the name is the Wisconsin Badgers. The image is us kicking the shit out of people. And the likeness is we shouldn't be liked very much around the country because we kick the shit out of people. That's my view on NIL, to be honest with you.
I got you.
That is a great perspective to have.
Yeah, and, of course, being that man, like I didn't join football for the money. Although, this is my dream is to be able to make money and support my family. That's not the reason I play. Shoot, man, even if I ain't have a scholarship, I'll probably be playing in the backyard somewhere attacking people. I think it's a great opportunity, but at the same time, I think the game of football itself is one that, you can get caught up in the glitz and glamour.
Of course.
At the end of the day, you still got to line it up and put them pads on. So, shoot, the kid next to me can make $1 million, and the kid to the left of me can be a walk-on kid who's struggling. But when we put them pads on, you're going to have to still hit. You're going to still have to thump. So,
that's true. That's true.
So, speaking of powerhouse schools, is there a particular Big Ten opponent you're most looking forward to facing this season, and why?
Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
They've had receiving core over the last few years. They've had NFL guys. They've been putting guys in the draft. And, the same way a lot of receivers that go to Ohio State, they think of themselves like, I fit that pedigree. I'm going to be the next league guy. I like to think I fit the same pedigree of, Wisconsin DBs and a lot of those great Wisconsin DBs that come in and lock those guys up. So I can't wait, man, especially just getting the opportunity to be on the big stage. We're going to play against them. I think it's on ABC this year. And, yeah, man, shoot, hopefully just because of Ohio State, I can get some targets. They throw that thing up there.
Obviously, what is it like living in Wisconsin? And obviously it's cold, during the winter times, a lot colder than upstate New York where you're from. I mean, it's cold at Buffalo. I know it gets cold up there and a lot of snow, but Wisconsin's a different beast. And everybody says that it's piercing. And I see all these Wisconsin guys, and when they go to the Green Bay Packer games, they're not wearing shirts, and it's below zero. I think they're nuts. Okay, we live in New York, and it can get cold here, but over there it's like piercing cold. And there's for a whole football game for 3 hours, they're butt ass naked practically, standing out there with their their Packer cheese heads on top of their heads. What are your thoughts of living over there? What is it like over there going to the campus of Wisconsin? And what is it like being a Badger, honestly?
If you live in Wisconsin, you're going to know we call UW, like, athletics. Another nickname for it is the Grit Factory. We stand by that, man. Shoot, if you a Wisconsin Badger, first off, you're gonna have to deal with, like, I remember telling my mom last winter, it was frozen. There was a 2-week span where we didn't have a day over 0 degrees. I see still kids walking outside the classes. Everybody's still active on campus. Football, we're gonna go get after it. Man, I knew it was a special place, and it took a special kind of cat to be there when they had a giant frozen block party called Lily's that's on the middle of the frozen lake in the middle of winter. These kids out there lit, man, having a ball, giant party in the middle of the frozen lake while it's cold outside and nobody cares. They out there slipping on the ice, everything. They out there just having a ball. Don't even care. I see dudes with shirts off.
Oh, my God.
Shoot, and then even on top of that, man, you get to, when it gets warmer, it's crazy humid and hot, and I don't hear a guy complain about nothing. Like, if you come to Wisconsin, we're known for being, tough, kind of, like rough kind of guys.
You're a rough rider. You're a rough rider.
Exactly, man. So you think about it, if you living in Wisconsin, you kind of got to uphold that standard. And it's funny because, shoot, being a skill player that goes to Wisconsin, plays for Wisconsin, you kind of get looked at a little differently. Like, man, we're used to having really big guys. Like, if you're not a lineman, they look at you like, oh, you ain't eating enough. We got to get you bigger. So it's hilarious to me, man. Shoot, even being a bigger corner, some people be like, oh, like, yeah, nah, you're not going to be able to play with those guys. You got to be 300-something pounds. You're a fan. So, yeah, it's fun, man. I love it. Shoot, that's why I was saying, like, the Grit Factory, I think if you come out of Wisconsin and you're a ball player, your level of mental toughness, your level of just being able to deal with adversity is different, man. Shoot, we got guys that ice bath in frozen lakes in their off time.
They're out of their minds, okay?
That's all you got to know about us.
Out of their damn minds. That's what they are. Oh, my God.
So, I knew, and it's funny because I knew that might be a place for me when I seen J.J. Watt. Oh, God. He had posted a picture of him ice bathing in a frozen lake in Wisconsin. And I thought about it. I was like, man, when I was back at home in high school, I would go get as much ice as I could from Sonic or wherever and fill up my bathtub and ice bath myself. So I thought, if that's the type of cat that go to Wisconsin, maybe I'm that type of cat.
Maybe you need 5 different slush flavors and then just combine them all into the bathtub.
You will not see me in hell sit. And I like the cold. I ask anybody here, I am a cold man. I love the cold. I hate the humidity. I hate the summers here. Hate it here in Long Island, New York. What I do love is I like the cold. I like it's like 15, 16. Anything under 15, 16 degrees, it's no, man, for me. And for me to go in to a lake and have an ice bath in below 0 weather, you have to be nuts to do that.
See,
okay?
this is
you know what's funny? Yeah. I used to say, my threshold was like, all right, if it's anything under like 15, I don't want to go outside. Now it's about 0. If it's anything under 0, I won't go outside.
15's warm in Wisconsin.
No, for real. I remember we had a day, man. After that stretch of below 0 days, I want to say it was 30 degrees. I was outside in a t-shirt, and nobody tell me it wasn't warm, man. Shoot.
That's what we feel like when it's like 40, like this past week, it's been really, really hot. But when it was like cold, like in the 20s, 30s, everybody's like, oh, it's freezing. And I was like, when it was in the 40s, everybody thought it was still freezing. I'm wearing like a wife beater. I'm walking outside.
We thought you were nuts.
And everybody thinks I'm nuts. And I'm like, this isn't cold. But when I'm walking outside, when it's like 10 degrees and it's snowing, and it's like, okay, it's a little cold. You know what I mean? But people look at I'm snow shoveling. Well, I was not this year, but last year I was snow shoveling in like below 0 weather. People think I was nuts because I was wearing flip flops.
See, this is the merit now of you can't judge football players and fans going into snow in 0 degrees temperatures and trying to show off with a shirt on. If Quentin Nelson can't do it in that snow playoff game against the Chiefs, then nobody can do it.
There you go.
Dude, man, I remember we had a frozen game. It was real cold against Northwestern. And I was out there in just the jersey. I don't know. It's something about – I wouldn't say it's like trying to be tough or anything like that for us at least. It's just you get to a point of like I don't know. You just got this, like, we the grit factory. You look at the guy next to you, he's like, I'm about to go punch somebody in the mouth. He ain't wearing no sleeves.
Was that 14-7 like defensive duel or something like that this season? I know you had one of those games. Yeah, it was Northwestern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot, man. And then even to make it, just to kind of give you some insight to Wisconsin, our long-term injury guys before games will all not wear sleeves, and we'll go to the weight room and do a straight arm circuit and try to get the biggest pump we can before we have to either jog, wheel, or walk outside in the cold and just try to look as big as possible. We all shoot. Anytime you're an injured guy, it's a challenge to see who can get the swollest, who's going to be the biggest while they hurt.
Yeah, I believe that. So I know a lot of different college players that always me even when I played sports, or even now, before I go out and stuff like that, you want to get a pump because you want to look big. You want your shirts to fit snug and stuff like that, because people, when people see that you have a pump, all that blood flow and your muscles look bigger, your shoulders look bigger, your back looks bigger, and people think you're just a beast. And a lot of these guys don't understand that it takes a lot of discipline to train and really push your bodies to that next limit. It's not easy. Not everybody could be an athlete, a Division I athlete. It takes very special people, very tough people to do that kind of stuff. You've worked really, really hard to get where you are today, and you keep doing what you're doing, you will get your dream. You'll play in the NFL, and you'll be able to support your family in the very near future. And we need to talk, as you know, we've kind of parted, because I know you're busy, man, and I know everything that was going on in the regular season. You were very stressed out in what you were posting. I could tell that you were very depressed because you weren't playing and stuff like that. I could only imagine when you're out for a year or 10 months, pins and screws in your shoulder, and you've never had an injury like that your whole career because you were dominant in high school. And then and you step on a football field, you hurt yourself, and you're out for a whole year, and you want to help your team, you want to be a part of it, and you're sitting there saying, like, when is my turn? When is my turn? When is it going to be my turn? But
shoot, man, the crazy part is, you always think moments like that, like those big hits, you might like kind of think afterwards, oh, am I good? Man, I got hurt on a blocking drill. I ain't even fall nothing. Like the most lack of contact, freak injury, just like I'm chilling, and then next thing you know, I'm like, man, something wrong. And ended up being a major injury, so I think that this time being hurt, I think it was a blessing, man. It allowed me to really be able to put God first in my life, to be able to let God be God, and to be able to figure out my support system, really figure out who's in my circle, to really also to have that mental toughness, like no matter what's thrown my way, I'm gonna be good, not only because I got God with me, but man, I'm cut from a different cloth.
And that's stuff. When we've talked to all you young guys, and we've talked to a lot of top young athletes that went in college D1 the same year you did, before COVID even happened, and all the trials and tribulations you guys have gone through the COVID situation, not playing in front of fans, and then obviously what you've been through with the injury that you had your freshman year, and not really getting an opportunity to really show what you can do. To have a support system, a family the way you do, and even the coaches that you have. And Jim Leonard, like I met Jim Leonard years and years ago when he was playing, he was playing for the Jets. And Jimmy, he doesn't look much of anything, when you look at him. He's 5'9", 5'10" at most. But
it's like 5'8", 185 or something like that. Yeah.
But what made him so special, and Rex Ryan said it best about him, is he was the first person on the field, and he was the last person to leave. He was a leader. He was the back-end captain of the secondary, and the guy saw things that other people didn't see, and that's what made him very, very special. Unfortunately, Jim Leonard has, over the years, he fought so much injury in professional football that he really never got to that staff where people could say that Jim Leonard was one of the best safeties in the league. But I think Jimmy's going to be a great NFL coach eventually. I think he's going to get a shot, and I think that's where he wants to go eventually.
Shoot, I was happy he had got offered that Packers DC job.
Yep.
I was happy he rolled with us, man. Shoot.